Next up, a Bob Marley card. PSA 8. Wow, that's a great grade on this. This looks strange. You know why it looks strange? Wow, this is crazy. This is mounted upside down. Good job, PSA. Good job. Before I get ahead of myself, my name is Reed, and I've been collecting rare music cards for over 30 years. I search the globe for hard to find music cards, both vintage and not so vintage, to add to my always growing collection. I don't consider myself an expert at any of this. I'm just a guy with a camera enjoying this crazy hobby. Feel free to come along every Sunday where I'll post a new video showing my inside look at how I go about growing my collection. Welcome to collecting music cards. Some of you may remember several months ago when I submitted 160 cards to PSA for grading right before they raised their prices to where they are now. I sorted these 160 cards into 8 different 20-card lots. The reason for this is 20 cards seems to be the sweet spot for making a reveal video that doesn't drone on too long. Several of the lots were cards from 1979 and before, several lots were 1980 and later, and a couple were some slightly newer cards broken into 2 other lots. I paid anywhere from $18 to $22 per card for grading, and like I said, shortly after, PSA raised their bulk grading fee to $25 per card. That was all in late January. Well, we knew sooner or later these cards had to start coming back, and here we are. Let's take a look at some pretty cool vintage music cards. All right, I just got a vintage submission back from PSA. Let's take a look at these grades. All right, so we've got probably about 20 cards here. Might be 19 because it looks like there's one here that they didn't grade. Oh, yeah, and this is that, I think it's 1973, 1974-ish Kras card. Great card. And they're not grading that for me. I know for a fact I sent in 3 of these, one in each. They were all in separate orders, and I've already received word that they're not going to grade any of the 3 because they do not have enough information on that set just yet, and hopefully in a number of years they will have it. All right, so let's dig in here and see what we've got. Starting off with the first card is going to be a 1966 Pop Builder. This is a Beatles card. The majority of these cards here are going to be 1960s, and there's going to be a handful of 1970s-ish in there, mid-70s. But this is a 1966 Beatles card, and this is a PSA 5. And let's just take a quick look at pop count on this and see what that is. Wait a second for that to populate. And let's see here. And that is at a 5. That there is a population of 6 5s out there, and there are 9 graded higher. All right. Next up is another card that I really like. I've had this graded several times before. Not this particular one, but this exact, this type of card. 1965 TV film idler, and this is a PSA 5. Believe it or not, that's a solid grade, and that is what that card looks like right there in a 5. I really do like this card. I'm curious again. I'm not going to check all these, but I'm curious as to what the pop count on this one is. Okay, there we go. Population, there are 3 5s out there, and 7 of these have been graded higher. A solid 1965 Beatles card there. All right, back. And next up, 1974. These are those Series P cards printed in Holland. This is of Led Zeppelin, and this is a PSA 6. Believe it or not, again, that is a very high grade for that card, because these cards are famous for having an indentation right down here or up here. And I mean, I don't know what it's from. It's probably from the printing process where something was grabbing the cards to move them along or something like that. But a lot of these printed in Holland cards have that. This is a PSA 6. And let's take a look at where we are in the pop count. And here we go. Come on. There are 3 that are PSA 6s, and there are 3 of these that are graded higher. All right. And next up, we are seeing 1967 Pop Builder PSA 6 of the Beatles. I didn't do all Beatles cards here. I did quite a few Beatles. But this is 1967, and that is a 6. Next up, this is kind of a strange one. 1965, I can't pronounce it. I'll just show you the label, but this thing turned out to be a monster grade. I almost didn't send it in because it's a 65. It's very yellowing, but I think all of these are from this set. It's the G set. And this is of the Beatles again. But that is a PSA 8 of that. And you can see how yellow that really is. And that is a PSA 8, which is just a monster grade on that card. And like I said, I almost didn't even send this one in because of the yellowing. I had no idea that it would really do that well. They must be used to these Gs from the G set in 1965 doing that. So, wow, craziness. I'm glad I sent it. That card, there's a population of 2 of those as an 8, and there's nothing higher. And if you want to take a look at that, 2 of those as an 8, and none of those are higher. None are higher than that. Wow. Boy, that's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that. Definitely wouldn't have guessed that. Very happy I sent that in. Next up, Olivia Newton-John. Love this card, 1974. This is the Series P, printed in Holland. And wow, just a killer grade. I knew it was a good grade going in. When I sent this out, it didn't have the indentation that they normally do. And yeah, I knew this was going to do well. It wasn't perfectly centered, as you can see, but that's what that card looks like. And this is a PSA 9, which is an absolute monster of a grade for that card. Olivia Newton-John, Series P, 1974. And that is a PSA 9. We got to check the pop on that. Believe me, I was expecting a high grade on this one. And as far as the PSA 9 goes, let's see where we're at. Ah, yes. That's a Pop 1, and there are none higher. That's the highest graded of that card ever. You may have seen that card before. You may have seen people selling them for 10 or 12 bucks on eBay. That's usually what one with some rounded corners looks like, or price-wise. This one I paid quite a bit more when I acquired it because it was perfect. But there we go. That's a Pop 1, and there's none higher on that card. Really happy to have that. I'll put that into my Olivia collection. And next up, Oh, this is a favorite card of mine too. 1964 Dutch numbered the Beatles. Card number 66 has the blue background. You'll also see this card with a, what's the other color background? I think it's orange or something like that. But this is the one with the blue background. This graded out a PSA 5. This is the best condition I've ever had this card in. Very tough card to find. I'll show you what that PSA 5 looks like. And look at that card. 1964. That's when Beatlemania is happening. And we are definitely checking the pop on this one. Let's see what we've got here for this 1964 Beatles card. Pop one, but there is one higher. I will definitely take that. Yeah. What a beautiful card that is. And that card's going to have some pretty good value to it, being that it's a 1964. All right. Next up, Jackson's card. Card number 558. This is from the 1974 Pop Builder set. And this is a PSA 6. That's a good grade for that card. I rarely see this card in that good of condition. I wanted to send that one in because I remember. And remember, when I sent these in, this was months ago. I sent them in because I knew they were grade worthy, but you never know exactly how they're going to grade. You can see the corners on that are real nice. Let's check this out and see where we are as far as population. I know people have graded these before. All of them that I've seen in the past have, like I said, they've all been in worse condition than this. I've had this card a handful of times. And that is a Pop 1 on that card in that condition. As a PSA 6, it's a Pop 1, and there are none higher. That's the highest there is right there. Wow. I started doing this and checking these pops on camera about 2 years ago. And I'll tell you, back then it was real easy to get a Pop 1. Nowadays it's not so easy, but we have already put a couple of these on the map today. And that's pretty exciting whenever you get that going. All right, next up. This is a very special card, 1966 Pop Builder, Rolling Stones. And this is a huge grade. PSA 9. I took this one out of a pack a few months ago. I took out my 1966 packs and opened up 5 for a video, I think it was. And this card was popped out of there. And there we go. Sent that in, and that is a 9, which is a huge grade. Anytime you have a 60-year-old card that comes out of the pack and grades a 9, you're in good shape. As I remember, the backs on these were just extremely white, really nice looking, no deterioration, discoloration at all. And let's definitely go to this one and see what we can do in regard to pop count. And that's the Rolling Stones. And that card, as a 9, is a Pop 1, and there are none higher. That's a crazy card right there. So for that particular card of the Rolling Stones, that is the highest of that one ever graded. And like I said before, that is a 60-year-old card. Yikes. All right, next up. A card we all know, 1974 Pop Builder Led Zeppelin, card number 640. Only a PSA 4, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's a solid grade on that card. I have this in 2s, I have this in 3s. There are no throwaways on this Led Zeppelin card right here. You can have a 1 and you have a collectible card. When you send that in, when you do get a 1 on it, one thing it does tell you is that it's an authentic card. So 1 isn't the worst possible case scenario. I I guess not being able to be graded would be the worst case scenario. Let's take a look at this Led Zeppelin card and see how many there are. I know I've graded a lot of these, so I know this number isn't going to be anywhere near the top. There's 9 of these as a 4, and there are 10 of these that have been graded higher. All right. Very cool. Next up, this is a Jimi Hendrix, card number 66 from the 1967 set. People often refer to it as the black box card because that number down there is in the black box. And let's take a look at that right there. There's Jimmy. And how did Jimmy grade out? That turned out to be a 4 there. Not my best effort, but it's a nice card. Once again, a card that there are no throwaways of this card here. So even though it's a 4, it's still a very valuable card. 1967 is Jimmy's earliest card. And let's take a look at what we've got here. So for a 4, this card number 66, there are 15 4s out there, and there are 21 of these graded higher. Any one of these that you see out there, more than likely, people are going to grade this card every time they can get their hands on it. Okay. And next up, we've got the same thing, but this is card number 27. Remember, there were 2 of these in the set. Card number 66 and card number 27. This one's a little off-center, but nonetheless, we did get a PSA 6 on this one. Quite a bit higher. I still have a handful of these out for grading. And this one's better at a PSA 6. And let's see what that means for the card number 27. It's not going to be in the same pop count as card number 66. It's a totally different card. Although it's the same, it is different. Alrighty, let's see here. And there are 4 of these graded as a 6, and there are 10 that are graded higher than a 6. 1967, there we go. Next up, Bob Dylan, card number 595 from the 1975 Pop Builder set. PSA 7. This actually was a really nice card. I think where it's not 100% is maybe the corners. They look sharp, but when you look closer, they're not as perfect. The centering on this couldn't be any better. And the surface on that, I believe, was pretty good too. So there's a Bob Dylan card. That's a PSA 7. Let's take a look how this Bob Dylan card performs as a 7. And there are 4 7s out there, and there are 3 of these that are graded higher. There we go. All right, next up, the Beatles. And this is a absolute monster here. This was packed fresh. A couple months ago, I pulled this out of a pack. 1966 Pop Builder. You may remember earlier in the stack, I pulled a Stones card out. It graded a 9. It was a Pop 1, none higher. This card right here is a 1966 Beatles from that same pack. Not the same exact pack, but those same packs. I opened 5 of them, and this one is a Gem Mint 10 right there. You don't often see that on a 60-year-old card, but there's a Gem Mint 10 of a very hard card to get. You'll often see this card with rounded corners, maybe a little dirt on it, maybe a crease, and that'll still be a $15 or $20 card in that condition. This card here is a Gem Mint 10, and I gotta believe that that is the only one of those out there. So let's take a look and see. Gem Mint 10. There it is. That is the only one out there. Pop 1, none higher. And there's the Beatles right there. What a great card. Take another look at that. There's the Beatles right there. Wow. Gem Mint 10. Outstanding. Next up, a Bob Marley card. PSA 8. Wow, that's a great grade on this. This looks strange. You know why it looks strange? Wow, this is crazy. This is mounted upside down. Good job, PSA. Good job. So let's take a look at this. Here's your mounted upside down. I have this card over and over again, and I knew it was looking kind of strange because it's just mounted upside down, so it looks different than usual. And there's a PSA 8. That's a great grade on that card. And this one is going to have to be sent back. 1978 Pop Builder. Earliest card of Bob Marley right there. And let's take a peek at what that 8 means there. That means that there's 14 8s out there, and there are 8 of these that are higher. 14 8s and 8 that are higher. Great card. Well, it would be great if it was mounted properly. And next up, a card that I really like. This is a 1967 Share. PSA 6. Just really a cool card. This one, I just can't find these in great condition ever. This is the best one I've ever had. You can still see that the corners are not exactly crispy. But there we go. And that Share, that's a PSA 6. And we are going to take a peek at the pop on that one. I didn't plan on checking all these, but for one reason or another, I keep on coming up with an excuse to check them. And that is a Pop 4. There are 4 of these out there as 6s, and none of them have squeaked higher than that. Pop 4, none higher right there. And that's on that 1967 Share Pop Builder card. Next up, here is Queen, 1974. This is the earliest card of Queen. Card number 731. This is a PSA 7. It's a solid grade. And see if you can notice anything about this card. PSA doing a fine job of mounting that one upside down as well. Good job. Not really that that's so bothersome, other than the fact that this card will now be tied up for the next 5 months while it's getting fixed. And that is, I'll give you that kind of shot on it right there. Just a great shot of the group there. And that's a PSA 7. Let's take a look at... And I hesitate to send it back because I don't want them taking my 7 away when they crack it out and all of a sudden do one of their little things where they say it's going to be, we're going to regrade it and now it's a 5. There we go. Population 3 on this Queen card, and there are 6 higher. Population 3 with 6 higher. Having a problem with the app right now. It didn't populate the picture. But the app is just slow right now. Having a little bit of a problem with it. No big deal. Next up. Oh, love this Jimi Hendrix card. 1968 Pop Builder. And this is a PSA 4. Believe it or not, that's a nice grade on this card. This is from the Pop Builder Type 5 set. And that is of the Jimi Hendrix Experience right there. Very cool card. A lot of these graded, so. And last is a 1965. Believe it or not, that's what they call it, 1965. I pulled it out of a 1966 pack. And this is an Elvis Presley card. If I wouldn't have pulled it myself, I wouldn't believe it. But this is a 1965 card coming out of a 1966 pack. And this is a huge grade. That is a PSA 9, and there is Elvis right there. PSA 9. Let's see if we can get the app rolling here. Turn it over. Scan a card. There we go. And that Elvis card is a Pop 1, and there are none higher, and that is a PSA 9. 1965 Elvis, Pop 1, none higher. Yeah, that's a beautiful card right there. And so what did we get? We got 5 or 6, 4, 5 or 6 Pop 1s, none higher in there. I know we had one that was a Pop 2 with nothing higher. So this was actually a pretty exciting group of cards. And wow, I couldn't be happier with the grades. It's a lot of fun to go through these really old ones. This group of cards was one of the submissions that I made from months ago when I sent out my 160 cards. I broke it into 8 20-card submissions, and as they came back, I told you that I'd show them to you. Here they are. Hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you next time.